How are you?
Good, how are you?
Good, thanks. Before we get started today, I just want to remind you about our confidentiality clause. Everything that we say in this counseling session is confidential and private, which means I can't share this information with anyone else. However, I do have a duty to warn, so if you say anything that implies that you're a danger to yourself or a danger to others, that is a situation in which confidentiality will be breached. Do you have any questions?
Nope.
No? So tell me, how is school this week?
Well, I'm doing really well in my class. My grades are good. I actually think I'm one of the top performers in my class as far as my grades going. But I'm having an issue with my professor as far as my anxiety is concerned. Just get really anxious when I have to talk to anyone who's in a position of authority over me. So in this case, it's my professor. Just feel like it's limiting me and holding me back. In case I needed any additional instruction or had an issue with one of the grades I got, it's really hard for me to go and start a conversation and go, tell my professor what I'm actually feeling.
Okay, so would you say when you get anxious about talking to your professor, would you say you almost avoid the situation?
Yeah, I don't want anything to do with having to talk to him. I just, accept my grade, or if I need any clarification, I talk to just a classmate or just figure it out on my own.
Okay, so what do you think is the root of this anxiety, about talking to your professor or, someone of power?
I don't know, maybe when I was growing up, talk just with my parents, I never wanted to question whatever they said, and I never really, experimented with confronting people who were in an authority position, whether I thought it was, inappropriate or just, not the correct thing to do maybe, and then it just kind of stuck with me, and whenever I have to do it, or it just, I just get sweaty and I clam up and get very nervous, just symptoms of anxiety, and I feel like even past my class and interaction with my professor, it'll be an issue when either I'm a manager in charge of other people or I have to talk to my boss, so I just want to get it addressed.
Definitely. I think, being able to, getting past this anxiety and reducing this anxiety is important, because not only will it help you in this class, but like you said, it'll help you in other areas of life as well. So I want to model a potential situation that you might get put into with your professor, with your teacher. So that way you can kind of see some techniques that you can use when you get in this situation, when you get really anxious. So let's make pretend that I am you, and that you are the teacher, the professor, and you just gave me a really bad grade, let's say a C, on an essay that you worked really hard on. So you would be the teacher, and I would be you. I'm going to model the behavior. You can get started.
Right. Here's your paper, Brian. You got a C minus.
Oh, well, why did I get a C? I worked so hard on this paper.
Just graded it based off the rubric, and that's why I assessed you achieving.
Well, I feel like I did I reached a decent amount of the points that's on the rubric. I think I got way more than a C. I think I deserved at least a B.
You're entitled to that opinion, but that's the way I graded it across the board, and I feel like it was fair to everyone.
Okay, well, I'm not sure if it is too fair, because I think that I worked really hard on this paper. I think that I reached a lot of the points that's on the rubric, and I think I deserve a better grade. Is there anything maybe I can do better for next time, or is there any way I could correct some of these aspects of my paper so I can get a better grade? Maybe some sort of extra credit?
Well, first of all, I think that you're graded based on your performance, not your effort. But I'll give you a chance at extra credit, and you can write an essay on the points that you think you did well, where I said you did not do well, and I'll read that over and reconsider.
Okay, so see what we did in that role play activity, when I modeled, I might have been feeling really anxious on the inside, but I held my ground and I was able to kind of present my case to the teacher in a fair and reasonable manner without kind of, either backing away because of the anxiety that I felt inside, or without getting almost too defensive and becoming aggressive. So let's go through a role play activity where you are the student, you're yourself, and I'm the professor, and we'll see if we can almost kind of do the same thing. So I'll get started. Brian, here's a paper. It looks like you got a C on it. I'm really sorry.
I really thought that I was going to get a good grade on this. Can you explain to me, why I got a C?
I just didn't think that you reached most of the points on the rubric.
Is there any way that you could go into more detail than the notes that you just put on this? That maybe we can sit down and have extra help, class or some sort of sit-down meeting there where we can go over this and put me on the right track.
Yeah, of course. I'm free anytime after class if you ever want to sit down and we can go over the rubric and we can sit and we can actually look at the paper and we can break it down and you can see exactly how I graded it.
Okay, I think that'd be a good foot forward.
Good. So you use a lot of the techniques from the modeling into that role play, which was really good. It looks like you kind of got through that anxiety and you were able to confront your teacher about how you felt and ask if you could, sit down and talk some more about the paper and why you got that grade. How did you feel after that?
I don't know. Still feel like it's something I'm gonna have to work at constantly.
Yeah.
Until I feel comfortable.
And it is going to be different when you're face-to-face with your teacher. I know you probably feel a little bit more comfortable, in this counseling session than you would, per se, when you're actually with your teacher. It's a little bit more intimidating. So our next counseling session together, I do want to go over some, relaxation techniques or some other techniques that you can do to work on those somatic symptoms of anxiety that you discussed earlier. The increased heart rate or, your mind racing and, those other symptoms that make you avoid, speaking with your professor, with your teacher. But you did really great in that role play activity. So right now, let's discuss what you want your ultimate goal from this counseling process to be. What would you like your main goal to be that we're going to work towards?
I'd like to get rid of the symptoms of anxiety that I have when I need to, confront someone or talk to someone in a position of authority, and just hopefully put myself at ease so that I can communicate better with people.
Good. So our ultimate goal will be to get rid of that anxiety whenever you talk to your professor or someone of authority. And you had talked before about avoiding talking to your professor. So we can even say not avoiding talking to someone of authority to be an ultimate goal. What would you like your immediate goal to be? Something that we can work towards tomorrow or next week?
Probably communicating with my professor in my current class that I'm in right now.
So in your current class, let's say, like in our role play, if you get a bad grade, confronting your teacher about it. If you have a problem with a group assignment, approaching your teacher. Good. That would be a good immediate goal. And what do you think an intermediate goal could be? Something maybe in a month or two that you can work towards.
Maybe if I have any job interviews or something like that, being able to be composed and not be anxious going into it.
Okay, so using those, like I had mentioned before, some of those relaxation techniques and some of those role play techniques that we're going to go through in the next counseling sessions. Maybe using those and applying it not only to speaking with professor, but speaking with other people of authority, future employers at a job interview or whatnot. Yeah, that's a really, really good goal. So, Brian, I had a great time meeting with you today, and I'm looking forward to our future counseling sessions and working more on reducing your anxiety and on these behavioral interventions. And it was great to meet you. I'm excited for the future.
Thank you.
Thank you.